Hello guys and welcome back to another Only Trams episode. You've all got Marco to thank for this one. He was asking me in the comments whether we could get an extra episode out this week. So if you're glad to see another one, make sure to thank him down in the comments below. To start off with this one, I just want to double check that what we put into place in the last episode is actually working. So autosave's just come at the wrong time for us there, but you can see some fuel about to be dropped off by this tram here. And then if we look at Canterbury, at the moment there is no fuel. It has been dropped off a couple of times. I think it's just using it so quickly that it's disappearing. You can see another load coming in here, and there's 6. That just confirms that the route that we put in last time is now working. And I do just want to address one small issue. We do seem to be getting a backlog of oil up here, and if you ever see this at any of your truck stops or stations with this exclamation mark, it says that they're being lost. And obviously that's what we need to be turning to fuel, so we don't want that. So what we're going to do is actually stick a cargo building on here. Now I have got a couple of mods installed for cargo buildings. I think we'll stick one on the end there just to make that look a little bit better. But then we want the warehousing because, as you can see in the description here, it provides capacity for 25 items to be stored. Now 75s, we could have a huge one at the end of the platform there, but I think that looks a little bit overkill for at this stage. So I think we're going to go for the small building there, and hopefully that's now got rid of that exclamation mark, which it has, but we'll keep an eye on that because what we don't want to happen is to be losing it. Because we've got the trams coming twice and dropping crude oil off, we don't want that being wasted and then not turned into fuel. And then at the minute it's not an issue here, but just to ensure that we don't lose any fuel, I'm also going to stick another building on the end there, just to future-proof it and make sure that we're not going to be losing fuel. And that now should be everything set up. And down here, if we check this one, it looks like the same is actually happening with food. Now crude oil doesn't matter because we're plumbed directly into the natural resource, which is just going to keep producing. But the fact that we're losing food here is a concern, so we're going to have to see if we can fit a building in. I don't mind putting a large one at the end of this platform here. There we go, we can see some foods now sitting on the end of the building there waiting. One of the trams coming in to pick up some more fuel here. If you remember in the last video, we set this line up so they come in the first time and fill up on food and go, and the second time they fill up on fuel and go back again. Just so we're constantly taking both of those resources down to the town. Now we may need, actually, with there being so much resource sat here, we may need to look at getting a couple more trams on that line. I did add another couple just in between the episodes because it was really getting stocked up, but is 4 enough for that length of journey? I'll tell you what, we'll add one more for now and we'll come back at the end of the episode just to check on that. Right, now into the meat of this episode. As I said, what we want to do is complete this passenger loop this time around. A new coal quarry appeared. So what we want to do is we've already got a passage line coming from Brexel-on-Sea around the corner here down to Canterbury. And what I want to do is create this loop through Durham. So the road's already in place down to Durham, so I think this should be a pretty easy place to start. And I was thinking that we have a modular tram station in each town, but with Durham being really small at the moment, I think we just want one bus stop in the middle. So I think what I'm going to do, if this stop here, if we can put one in the middle and it covers the majority of the city, which it looks like it does actually, I think I'm just going to put one here for now. And we'll put one on the other side just in case we ever do a route going in the opposite direction. I say in case we ever do, we probably will do, because there might be some people that want to go from Canterbury straight to Durham and they don't want to go all the way around the opposite way, or even, Brexel-on-Sea to Durham, and they'd have to go all the way through Canterbury if we didn't have a route coming this way. Now what I do want to do is upgrade these roads, don't we? So we want tram track and we want electric. So the country road to start with, we need to come out. That's a quick win for us. And while we're electrifying this route now, it may mean that we can get this crude oil involved over this side. We want to switch to the medium street. It's already medium street from here, so we'll use that same bus stop that's there already. If we haven't already, I will just stick a bus route on the other side as we did down in Durham. So now we've got tram track all the way this way. It's all electrified. Then we need to look at designing the route around to Canterbury. Now, as I've said in a previous episode, I really want to go through this scenic route up through the countryside here, because I think that will end up looking incredible. We want to go medium street for the time being, so We did up to the country road, didn't we? Yes. And then now we can move through here. Don't want that being country road. There we go, that sorted itself out. But we do want all of this electrifying, which it is, and then we need to start building. Right, now, I want to come down, and currently the passengers station's over this side, but I do want to look at putting one of those modular tram stations in that we saw in the last episode. So, we've currently got the trams coming in this way, but we're going to want them each way if we're going to eventually have a clockwise and anti-clockwise routes. So if we look at the moment, we're going to want one in and one out in each direction. So we want 2 platforms. Platform length, I think 36 is right. I'm just wondering, do we move this tram depot and have it on the edge of town here so that it's in range of this local bus route still? And I think that's probably going to be the best route for us to go down. Actually, if I stick this along here, you can see now where we were going wrong originally. You see the little pavements coming off now, the little pathways even. That's what we were missing the first time I tried to get this mod to work. I was trying to connect up with the end of the station, as you might have seen it. If you stayed till the end of the last video, you'll know that already. But some people didn't, and will be wondering how we actually finally got it working. So it looks like this is only Small Street, isn't it? Is that going to let us connect in there? It is. Brilliant. And then now where do we want to come in from this side? I think we still connect in to the city here, and then maybe down on this bottom corner. If we begin to branch off here, still with Medium Street at this point, and then we'll switch to a country road here. And now what I want to do is find the nicest way of going this way. Now this field at the end here is going to have to be deleted. That's 200,000, Jesus. Okay, but you can see this guy already is hitting some kind of hillside here. So if we were just to run that out, I like the idea. I was hoping to have a tunnel sort of just come out in between the... Well, actually, that's quite... I was going to say I'd like the idea of a tunnel coming out just underneath the tree line, but we can make that happen up here. 440,000. Yeah, I did pay back some of the loan at the end of the next one. I don't know why, because now we're getting that straight out. What I may have to do is, in between this episode and the next one, I may just have to let time run on a little while just to rebuild some of those funds. Yeah, we will go for the tunnel through there. How is that looking? That's 500,000. But it's pretty straight. It's nice and smooth. We take that and then come out of the road view. How does that look? Oh yeah, that does look... That does actually look really good, doesn't it? So that's well worth it in the end. I'll just add a couple of trees around this entrance just to make it look like, you know, it's something that's been there for a while. I don't. That's one thing I really don't like, is when you're putting in new infrastructure, you can sort of tell that it's just been added in. I think if we had some scenery around it, I really like that. How it looks like it's just buried underneath that mound of trees. And if we just curve around and sort of start heading down the valley, there's a little verge here, this hillside here. I'd like to come around the outside of that. So if we sort of start heading towards this direction and down and through the little forested area there, round that corner at the bottom. We put that straight in, it's not too horrific, is it? But I want to try and avoid causing any massive gouges in the landscape if possible, just like that. That is what we exactly don't want. This rounded street tool really does do some weird and wonderful things somehow. A little snake in the end, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of that. I think I've just got the curvature wrong a little bit here. There we go, that's connected directly in. There's no massive gouges into the landscape here, is there? It sort of flows up with the ground level all the way. It does, perfect. So now that's hopefully the full route electrified all the way around, and we can start to look at what vehicles we want to add in. Now, I think what we are going to do, though, is because we already have that one route coming through the Canterbury Brexit, I think we'll manage that line. At the minute, we've got London Road at Brexit-on-Sea. I want to swap these stations around because I want it to be coming in a clockwise direction. No real reason, it just seems a bit more logical in my brain, if you like. So we're going to be going from Brexhill to Canterbury, then we want to come up to Durham here. It has picked that route all the way up, and then it's going to go back to London Road. Perfect. And then I'm unsure as whether do we add in London Road with that direction. We take out the old egg, it stays on the right side of the street there. And I'm just wondering now, when we get back to Lower Canterbury, so at the minute we're going Canterbury, Durham, London Road, back to Canterbury. So after London Road, do we go Canterbury on the other side? At Canterbury, actually, I want to change that. There we go, so the terminals look right. I'm just wondering whether we build the anti-clockwise route into this, or I'll tell you what, with it being early game for now and it's early doors, I think we'll leave that as is, and we'll let that sort of establish itself. But here we do need to add. It's going to go from Canterbury to Durham to Bexhill. So we'll add that in, and then we're going to need a lot more vehicles. At the minute, these guys are carrying 11. What do we have here in terms of passengers? Then 21. What are these guys? 19. And that's something new that I haven't seen before. So I think we're going to go for those guys. And I'm going to double that. Just because of the distance added in now. Let's have a look at these new trams. They are really cool. I don't know how well you guys can hear that, but it actually sounds really good as well. You can hear the electric motor. If I'm a bit quieter for you, see when it gets up to speed, what this sounds like. But I really like this model actually. So he's only going 14 mile an hour at the minute, but once we get out onto this country road, it should pick up. I think that, what was the top speed? 22. He's being held up by the cargo tram in front at the moment. There you go, so we're up to full speed, and he's going to head up and through that tunnel. Let's fast forward him up. Durham coal mine. So coal mine's appeared somewhere near Durham, has it? That's that. That must be that one there. I want to see what this tram looks like emerging out of the tunnel by the farm the other side, and also going through that windy pass through over to Durham. I think that's the whole reason I really wanted to put this route in. I think it's a really cool bit of landscape. It's the kind of area I'd like to usually put sort of some Swiss electric trains. Right, let's have a look. If we look at it from this side, from the farm, we're going to see this guy come up through the tunnel. Does look cool, doesn't it, emerging from there. And then we'll fast forward him again, just because this route here, I think it'd be incredible to actually be riding the tram up through here. Don't know about you guys, that's something I'd love to do. I was thinking earlier on, you know guys, I was having a look at one of the canyon maps that's pre-installed onto the game. I can't remember the exact name of it now, but it's one of the sort of American desert canyon type maps. And I was thinking of how to make it work and how you would have to get a train line all the way up to the top of some of the vistas. And then I thought to myself, for the next Transport Fever game, or even the next update here, one of the things I would love to see is a cable car system. Let me know what you guys think of that, but I think it'd be really good. So if you've got one town really high up in the mountains, you could have a cable car system down to the bottom of a valley. I think that'd be something that they would easily be able to implement, really. And it would be really good. You just have a cable car that can carry sort of 8 to 15 people. Like they have it, you know, similar that they have at some tourist attractions and ski resorts and things. So down here in the valley, you could have a station in the town maybe, next to a bus station, and then going up to the top of a hill where there was a town or something like that. I don't think it'd be really intended for cargo because of the weight, but For people, I think it would be really good. Right, so that's that system in now. I'm just wondering how many people we're going to have waiting. So in Durham here, we've already got 16 people waiting. So we'll pick those up on this first tram here that can carry 19. We've got 37 people waiting down this end. They all just come out in the same. Unfortunately, yeah, these guys are all clumped up, but we'll see if I had another 2 now this end, we put them on that intercity route. Could hopefully help them to spread out a little bit. This guy's coming through the town now, so he'll pick those up. I believe he's probably going to be empty at the moment because we'd only just put the route in. He is empty, yes. But there we go. Now he's got 18 people. Some of those will want to get off in Brexel and see. Some will go all the way around to Canterbury. I would imagine that most of them will probably be Canterbury just because that's where there's food and fuel available. Speaking of Canterbury, you can see now we're up to actually receiving 25 out of 69 fuel required. Target population 110%. We look at the charts here, the population you can see is absolutely flying up now. Just wondering whether I remembered. I didn't. I'll switch the date back to 1 times again now. I always tend to, in between episodes, while I'm just sort of having a look around and messing about with lines, I tend to pause the date just so you guys can keep up to date with what's going on, and so that I don't really unlock anything that I didn't intend to. Now you can see here, again, even though we're storing this extra 75, it looks like it's going over to crude oil, and we're still actually losing food, or we were doing until that tram's just picked it up. So we'll keep a constant eye on that. But in terms of fuel coming back, we have got 1 full tram's worth of fuel, but I'm not sure where the next tram heading back is on the delivery line. He's down here. So he's just had food on board, so he'll be picking up 21 fuel on his next run. And there is 21 fuel there. Is there any trams bringing more fuel back down the road? There's one on the way back there. He's empty, so he's going for more crude. He's going for more crude, and he's going for more crude. But at the moment up here now, we've got 52 waiting, so the next tram that does head that way, maybe this guy. Is he going to pick up some oil, or it looks like he's at the side of the platform that is just the drop-off. So I think he's just going to be heading back to Canterbury here, as you can see on the station here where he's heading. Maybe it's time we upgraded and put a few more trams on that line, just so we've constantly got some going the other way. Let me know what you think, guys. Is it worth me splitting that line and going from crude to the oil, back from crude to the oil, and then getting fuel? Or is this a mistake I'm making? Because at the minute, we've just got fuel sat there that isn't being brought back. And for me, I'm not sure whether that's ideal or not. My whole reasoning behind it was that you need 2 crude to make an oil. But we just seem to be losing even more and more cargo at this end. So I'm not sure. I'm going to have to stick one of these large buildings here, really, aren't I? Whether I like it or not. We'll stick a building on the end of that one just so it looks symmetrical. Because even when the next trams come, they're going to drop, sort of the ones that are going up to the fuel refinery are going to drop a full 21 crude oil off. And they're only going to pick 21 of this oil up. So we'll keep an eye on that anyway, guys, and just see what happens with it. But in terms of what we're going to be covering in the next episode, I'm really not sure at the minute. I am wondering whether we try and start getting these other materials. You can see both Durham and Brexel both want tools and construction materials. So if we could start getting those into the loop somewhere, it would benefit us greatly, and just building the passenger numbers as well. I have thought about, do we just start somewhere else down the map and look at connecting, but I think because we are on tram lines, it's better to just sort of branch out from the one spot, I think. But construction material, you can see we've got a tools factory down here, but for wood, we've got a forest up here, but sawmills all the way up there. I don't know if we've got another sawmill down here. That's interesting that we've got a forest, a sawmill, and then a machines factory that needs the planks. But then also here we've got iron, coal, steel, and it needs steel. But then we'd have to get machines. I mean, Lincoln needs machines, but it only needs 25. I don't think any of the cities that we've got yet do want machines. They don't, so I don't know if that'd be a bit of a waste at the minute. Tools would be ideal, but we just don't have the forest and sawmill at this end. Well, we have a forest just at Slough here, but a sawmill would be the issue there. And if we were to get a sawmill here, I mean, we could make tools completely in this area. So if we were to make tools and bring tools all the way down, we'd have to look at it to see what we could send back up to Newark. That'd be the next issue. But anyway, guys, that's a problem for the next episode. Thanks again for joining me in this video. As always, thank you for getting involved with the series. Your comments and likes on the videos are absolutely amazing. It's been my most popular series that I've made so far. If you are enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button, hit the bell underneath the video to make sure you get notified when the next videos come out. And if you're not already, please do subscribe to the channel. It helps me loads. We're rapidly approaching the 500 subscriber mark, which is the first YouTube milestone at 500, and then it goes up to 1,000. I still can't believe that we're anywhere near that, and that there's almost 500 of you that enjoy watching the videos I'm making. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.
I guess